I just want to review real quick some of our recent uploads and recent archives that have been posted to YouTube. High delta call buying for stock replacement, that was just posted this afternoon. That was from last Friday's discussion. Handling a full loss on a bull put credit spread near expiration. Using the bear put debit on SPX or SPY as a market hedge, and rather than just buying a put or maybe VIX calls or something along those lines, we did a comparison there. A quick look at the volatility skew tool, using the debit spread search on power options to help identify broken wing butterfly candidates, and a little on our chart reading and accessing the charts as well. You can find those all on YouTube at any time, just in the video section, the most recent 5 or 6 ones posted right there. All that being said, let's navigate over to power options. And I wanted to go through quick discussion here on some common questions that actually came up during the week, phone calls and coaching sessions and more. And we're in an interesting little time frame right now, not only with going into the earnings cycle, but also with the declines that we saw in the market last week on Thursday, Friday, and the big jump down on Monday as well. A lot of questions were coming in this week related to the naked put search and the bull put credit. Let me add naked puts. I don't have that there. We can always go back and put iron condors back. Oh, I'm sorry, I wanted naked put. My apologies. All right. And what is the concern? Well, the concern is that investors were going into the search and they weren't seeing as many search results. Here's 7 search results in the monthly picks of the day where that's a screen that we created, but some of the defaults here, I'm sorry, let's go to weekly picks of the day. Well, that's not too bad. There's 17. Early in the week, there was only 2 or 3. Go to the monthly picks of the day. And okay, this is good. This is where we want to be, around 27. So we go to bull put credit spread and we go to our preferred weekly bull put credit spread screen. And we'll see that we only have maybe 3 or 4 total results when normally we'd have about 12, 15, maybe 25 results. Okay, so we have 6 now. Earlier this afternoon, it was only 2, and at one point it was 3. Why are and were there so few results for some of the searches recently? Monthly especially, but also for the weekly. There's 2 factors that are going on. Number one, well, we are in the heart of earnings season, and one of our preferred settings for strategies such as credit spreads, naked puts even, covered calls, and more, is to avoid stocks that have earnings between now and expiration. So a lot of those were being filtered out. Another important filter that's used in a lot of the power option screens for these bullish strategies we're talking about, covered calls, naked puts, bull put credits, bull call debits, and more, we prefer to use a simple moving average where we're only looking for stocks that are trading above their 20-day SMA. With the market activity, the 2 days last week, Thursday and Friday, and Monday of this week, there aren't many stocks that are above their 20-day moving average. In fact, last time I checked at around 3:30 this afternoon, only 33% of current stocks were above their 20-day moving average. How can I know that? Well, that happens to be one of the filters that we use, one of the 13 indicators that is used on the market sentiment tool. And if we go into view indicator details, one of the settings is percentage of stocks over SMA 20. I can delve deeper into this by clicking on the details, and the last value, we're still at 33%. What does that mean? Only 33% of all optionable stocks are currently above the 20-day moving average. So in those searches, you're really only starting off looking at 33% of all optionable stocks, indexes, and ETFs. Then the other filters, including the earnings and the proper probability and return, have to be considered as well. So this is one of the main reasons why these positions are not seeing as many results as they commonly would. Now, if we look at this versus SPX, this can sometimes get a little bit confusing here, but the red is our percentage of stocks above the 20-day moving average. Let's just go back a few days here. You can see with that big dip on Monday that this dropped down to only about 17 or 18% of all optionable stocks, indexes, and ETFs were above their 20-day moving average. It's been as high as 40% recently in the past few days, been as high as 50% back in June as well. It's about 53, 54%. And I think the highest was back here, the highs as one would expect, up here around 75% on or around June 6th or June 7th in that case. So that just gives you a gauge of why you might not be seeing as many search results as you're used to in some of the neutral to bullish strategies that are using those specific defaults. Should you take out the defaults? No, I'm not going to say that. I'd prefer to leave them in. And if on Monday I'm in my cycle to open my next 3 or 4 bull puts and I only have 3 results, I'll probably just focus on those 3. Does it really make that big of a difference? Well, let's do the obvious. Let's take the earnings date off of our default search and click submit. Again, this is not a recommendation. You know, I would not do this personally for bull put credits or probably even naked puts. But if you wanted to just see how many more stocks are out there that would match the other criteria without the earnings, we jump from 6 to 16. All right, so there's only 10 more stocks above the 20-day moving average that match the rest of our criteria. Now, we take out both, but again, that's not something that I would do. Let's take out the SMA 20 and put the earnings back in. Let's see how many results we get now for this particular search, which would be very similar to what you'd see in the naked puts or the covered calls if you decided to take out the SMA or the earnings, which again, I would not recommend. Not too much. It's the same 6, isn't it? So that turned out to be okay, but the earnings date, both of them are playing a factor into it. Just turns out that right now in the bull put search, that SMA 20 isn't playing as much of a factor as it was the past 2 or 3 days.